What is up, everyone? JD here. Hope you're doing well. I got a review for you. Let's get into it. Super excited to get into this one. I've handled the mini, but I don't believe that I've ever handled the full-sized version of this particular knife. And it's from a manufacturer that I've really been enjoying a lot of the stuff that they've been putting out. They've really been putting out some quality stuff. We're going to be looking at the Vosteed Nightshade Premium. All right, guys, what we're going to do today is we're going to do some size comparison, profile, weight, all the good stuff that we normally do on this channel, and then we'll get into my thoughts and impressions. Let's go ahead and kick it off against a couple of budget knives. First, we're going to bring out the Devo Growler V2. These have enough in the wild here that I wanted to include it as a size comparison, and a couple knives, a couple of reviews, but usually I do the more Jarl, $50. You guys know the deal with that one, right? That is a fantastic value for money. These are like bug out size. Here's a full size budget knife that I'm really enjoying. I love the Amorite. It has just bumped itself to the top of my button lock budget knives that I really, really enjoy. We'll keep the Growler close by for those profile comparisons, but that Amorite is such great value. So here is the actual Para 3 lightweight. As I mentioned, this is kind of like your bug out size, Growler V2, Wrap 2. Those are all going to be very comparable to this one, and still out here from where I did this mod to my Manix 2 lightweight and M4 steel is going to be another full size comparison. Guys, don't worry, the Shaman is right here in the case, just giving you a little bit of break for a couple of videos. It'll be back out here. I love my Shaman, but you can see it is not quite as big as the full-sized Manix 2, but it's still very comparable, as I mentioned, to the Bug Out Para 3, Growler V2, coming in with those contoured scales plus the liner a little bit thicker than your V2 Growler. And let's just see here, should be thicker obviously than the Para 3 lightweight. With those contoured scales, you can see how much further it is standing out. Let's check out the carry profile on this one. So very similar to the Growler V2 in my opinion. Let me bring it down a little bit, and just a little bit thinner, I think, maybe. Let me see. Yeah, a little bit thinner at its highest point, and at its highest point, I think right there. I think right there. Actually, it's still a little bit thinner than both. I believe that is a titanium fold-over pocket clip. Yeah, titanium fold-over pocket clip. So it's going to ride nice and deep in the pocket like the other two on the table. So very, very nice size on the Nightshade. I honestly thought it was going to be bigger. Whenever I see the pictures and the reviews on other channels, it looks deceptively large, but it's really quite nice for the size. 3.7 ounces, not bad considering everything that is on here. Let's go ahead and kick it down to the garage for that cut test real quick. All right, guys, I've only ever experienced the mini Nightshade, but I'm going to tell you what, it is a little tight, but I'm really feeling the ergos on this one. I do feel a couple things, and we'll talk about that in the ergo category. But for now, let's go ahead and test this one out. It is a pass around, guys. Keep that in mind. Woo! I don't know how many people it's seen before me, but dang. Ooh, I went right into the sharpening tool. I do that so often with a knife I'm not super familiar with, guys. Yeah, it wanted to pull me into it too. That's that shilling style blade right there, guys, for sure. And you know what I didn't do? Didn't grab my cutting board. Dang. Dang, I didn't grab my cutting board. Let's see what this tip looks like. Woo, it is sharp. Pokey. Look at that tip go to work, guys. Holy cow. Super, super impressive. All right, this ultra thin catalog paper. Let's see if it tells any tales. Nope. What is this? Elmax steel. Wow. That is crazy good, guys. Crazy, crazy, crazy good. Let's kick it back up to the desk and we're going to talk about the LMAX Nightshade. So it is a pass around knife, not a super involved cut test, guys. Just something really quick just to check out that excellent geometry coming out of Vosteed's shop, and then really nice profile on here. Really thin, tall, flat grind. Got that shilling blade shape on here. Really nice blade. They did a very good job on that stone wash. I think that looks really nice. I personally would have gone a little bit further with the stone wash, but it is nice nonetheless. Ergo's on here, surprisingly comfortable. I wouldn't say exactly like a Padre, but it does kind of remind me of that, where it has a very subtle contouring and it puts your hand in a really good position to push and power cut. So when you're going through those long draw cuts, this is really nice for that. And then it continues to keep your hand in a good position to go into that pinch grip, get into your packages very easy, even if you're using the thumb to push through a little bit more tape. Nice draw cuts if you want to go through that tape on the top and you don't want to push down into your package. It's going to be really easy to control with that. The G10 and titanium bolster on here transition very well. The jade makes it a little hard to see, but you got a nice chamfer right here knocked out so that you can get to that generous lock bar access that is knurled there a little bit, so you can get in there, and you have a virtual guillotine here. I can imagine as this one breaks in, it may not fall, but man, it's darn close to being there with that blade weight and the bearings on here being well tuned. There is a little bit of play there. It could be again because it's been going through the pass around group. Might just needs a little tuning. Yeah, it was actually quite loose, guys. Let me just make sure I didn't over tighten that. It moved so quickly. Yeah, I was gonna say I might have over tightened it and not really needed it to be quite so tight. Let's back it off a little bit more there. T8 in the pivot. So there you go. There you go. It is a smooth closer, not a guillotine to where you have to worry about it falling on you. It's just nice and controlled. There's a little bit of play there. I might not have quite gotten it, but I'm really close. All right, so we moved it back a little bit. Okay, play is gone, and there you go, shaker. So even better. It feels very smooth. The feedback feels good on here. It looks like I can't see anything shining back. Is this nylon? It looks like. Yeah, I can't see from that angle. Let's see if we can see from the back. You got a integrated stop pin there. It looks like they're very tiny bearings on here, guys, and it looks like it is ceramic in a now caged nylon housing. It's really smooth. While we're down there, you can see it has relief cuts on the show side, and then a giant relief cut, and actually you can almost see through it. Right there, one big relief cut right underneath that pocket clip. You can almost see it through the light. It is not a reversible deep carry pocket clip. I think they could have done that. You know, it's a balancing act trying to determine, do you want a clean show side or do you want something that's reversible for lefties? I feel like they could have done a reversible for lefties here and then just throw in the filler tab, or even take a page out of Devo's book and just have instead of having both of these screws on barrels here, you could have this second barrel moved down, I think. Let me check that before I say that. Nope, you can't. So you would just have that filler tab screw. So it's not quite a filler tab, but it does, it works pretty much like that, to where you wouldn't have to worry about it being too much of an eyesore. Or just throw a filler tab in there with one screw, and then you just have like a triangle here, right? Almost. You could do the bottom one and it kind of look like a triangle. So depending on where you land with that, it doesn't bother me one way or the other. As I mentioned, smooth action, but that reverse flick with that keyhole is really nice. The detent is tuned very well. The thumb flick, very good tune on there. Can you fail it? No. Very properly tuned. Jimping on that flipper tab is really good, guys. I don't think... Oh, you could push button. Yeah, you can totally push button and light switch. And usually I worry about it when they're too low, but I think with the angle of everything that you have going here, plus the tune, it's really well done. Got some interesting sounds. Take a listen. It does thud a little on the closing, but I think like disassembling it and cleaning it and getting any gunk out of that detent ball hole and off the detent ball might get a little bit of the thud out, but it almost has a ting on that opening. So it is very interesting. When I was cutting with it, it was very comfortable in hand. I thought I was going to be slipping off the back, but I was able to very easily grip into everything. And even through one of the cuts, it was pulling in so far that it pulled into that really good sharpening choil. I was, I wasn't expecting that, so I had to readjust once I realized it. And again, usually when you've spent some time with a knife and then you're cutting with it, you kind of know the behaviors on it. But, I know people don't really love this whole swoop line look. But this to me is a knife that I think it does have a cool factor to it, but ergonomically and the performance on this one is something that you would probably see from like a Spyderco, where it's going to be all about the function. And they did a really good job with a very clean closed profile here. It doesn't look offensive to me closed up. And again, going to carry nice and deep in the pocket. That pocket clip is a little light on the retention for the weight of the knife. I would have liked that retention to be just a little bit better. It goes in really smooth, but that as you're jumping with it in the pocket, it kind of just slips out a little easy. And it could be that you just need to tune up that pocket clip. Maybe you need to bend it in a little bit, but it doesn't have quite enough strength. It's a little too springy. So just be careful if you're doing anything active with this one in the pocket. Just keep an eye on it. Make sure you tuck it in nice and tight to the seam, and I think you'll be okay. I'm not going to make any alternative recommendations for this one. The price point on this particular one, it is slipping my mind. I got to look it up. It's coming in at $135, guys. It's a really awesome price. You can go out there and get a BD1N lightweight out there, for 136, 140, somewhere in there. It's going to be plastic and it's going to be BD1N unless you can find a sprint one. This was like 146 for this S90V variant. Very competitive even with that, and a lot of aftermarket support, even though I'm really hating the titanium stop pin that I installed with this one. It is locking, got that lock stick on it, and I can't quite get it to break in. I'm going to continue to try, but I'm probably going to go back to the other stop pin. So you can find stuff out there for about this price point, but I feel like this is unique enough, and I like LMAX to where $130 is really affordable, guys. You could look at the Growler V2. You're going to get 154 cm, something with a lot of belly that's going to slice very well and going to feel very competitive. I actually do prefer the ergos on the Growler. I think this is probably my favorite in the territory of that $100 price point. Ergonomically just really comfortable, big belly slicer, good drop point so I can still do detailed work, really good action. Just it was really well done. I think Kubi did these for Devo knives, and they did just such a fantastic job on it, but they're not available. This one right now at the time of the video is available, which is one of the reasons why I really like this particular version. Now, I know that it may not be for you, so if you have alternative recommendations, leave them down in the comments below. It does help other people that are checking those out. The comments do help the channel, and actually watching further into the video helps the channel, so I appreciate all the support. Shout out to everyone out there for liking, commenting, being subscribed, and special thank you to the channel members. I appreciate all the extra support, guys. Hope all of you have a fantastic week. Until next time, peace.